Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 for some multiplayer racing. For this session, we are using A-Class cars fitted with V12 engines. Now, I expected, probably naively, but expected there to be a variety of cars. And what we've all done is put a V12 in a muscle car and been done with it. I've gone for the Dodge Coronet. I actually really like this car. It is a very nice driving muscle car. With its V12, it has 800 horsepower. It is all-wheel drive. I have rally tyres. I have big rally tyres on it as well. And there are many other muscle cars. There's a Cuda, there's a Nova, there's a couple of El Caminos, there's a Challenger. There are a couple of Diablos, there's a Vantage, there's some sensible V12 stuff. The DBX is an interesting shout. Could be quite fast at some stuff. There is a Ferrari 365 and there's an Espada. I love the Espada. I could just never get it to work on this game, but it'd be nice to see one go well. I don't know what we're going to see from this one. I think the muscle car route is probably the easy, and I say easy, route here. As I said, 800 horsepower, all-wheel drive, quite big tyres. That should hopefully work around this track. I've gone for the Coronet. I remember the entire reason I've gone for the Coronet is I remember when we did a muscle car showdown on this game, the Coronet being really nice to drive. That's a lot of understeer through that. That is entirely the reason why I have picked this car. It is also very big, which might make it good to defend with. Possibly. Now, I am on rally tyres for a couple of reasons. First of all, they give you pretty good grip. They are not going to be as good off-road as the off-road race. This event will tackle tarmac and dirt stuff. They aren't going to be as good as the off-road race tyres that may well be fitted to some cars when it goes off-road, but they are still pretty good when it comes to the tarmac. They're not that much worse than semi-slicks, for an example. So, it's a compromise. It's a compromise I tend to run in A-Class these days. I do like my semi-slick tyred vehicles, but for this, I'm hoping it will work. But the all-wheel drive will save it a little bit on the dirt stuff, but it's probably not going to be winning the dirt stuff unless nothing's on off-road race tyres or whatever. So we have got an okay amount of straight-line speed. I expect the Diablo to be faster than us in a straight... Like, top end of the Diablo will probably be better than we are. The Diablo has got much better aerodynamics. Oh, my car is a bit bumpy through there, which is not what we need at all. It's very unsettled. And we will continue to try and park Big Dodge on the apex. Unfortunately for me, Diablo got the Lamborghini and Ferrari were working together. The Lamborghini got a huge punt from a Ferrari and actually put it past because Coronet is very big and very wide. And very understeery. But some teamwork there between the pair of them did do the job. Now, at this circuit, it's not necessarily indicative of performance everywhere. We will have to wait and see. A car that goes well here will probably be good. But you do sometimes get some sort of specialist cars that work astonishingly well here and not so good everywhere else. The all-wheel drive on mine will probably be helping me more here than it will on other circuits. For example, we are fighting away with a Ferrari, and I think we're going to just run out of grip. We've just not quite got the grip in this. The all-wheel drive traction will save us, but only so much. Does the Ferrari feel the need to defend into turn one? It doesn't. It braked a little bit later than a little bit earlier than I was expecting, and that threw me all sorts of out of position, really. That time there, much better. Through what is a bumpy and nasty section, we will try and get on the brakes. Now, my best bet here is to use the punch from the 800 horsepower V12. I mean, that car's relatively heavy at 3,400 pounds. And I say relatively, in the grand scheme of things, you tend to run lighter A-Class cars. I tend to run lighter A-Class cars than that. I feel like I'm being later on the brakes than the Ferrari I'm not intentionally bumping the Ferrari, it's where I want to be braking slightly later. I think the Ferrari's got a lot more mid-corner speed than I do. I'm quite good under brakes with this thing. Fair, that Daytona's not, well, potentially might not be all that light either. I think it's the Aston sat in 4th place, which is, I mean, considering the Aston and the Diablo start off very high in A-class, you do not get much in the way of room for upgrades on those, and could well be still rear-wheel, I think it would, I would presume would still be rear-wheel drive and everything. We kind of harassed the Ferrari the first part of the lap, and in the second part of the lap I made a couple of mistakes, and the Ferrari's now gone. That can go chasing off after our leader. Ferrari either forgot what lap it was on or missed the brake. It hit the wall hard at turn 1 and has not been conducive to a good lap time through there. That corner, I think, can be flat in the Dodge if you get it right. Some cars, that's not even really a corner. In this, it definitely is a corner. It's not the most unsettled. It's not as good as an Evo I had a little while ago, whenever it was, that was easily flat through that. I think my car's much better at this first section. That makes sense, actually. Around here, it's a very stop-starty section. That's where the all-wheel drive is really helping me. In the latter half of the lap, the Coronet's just not quite as good. It just doesn't quite make the most of its... Actually, it's just not able to carry the corner speed that the other cars around it are. The big, heavy muscle car aspect of it does hinder slightly. I mean, if we can, by the looks of it, we're getting it on the podium in the opening race, barring an absolute disaster in the final corner. And I say all in all, not the worst thing, and relatively competitive lap times, I think. It's not as fast as the as the Diablo and the Daytona, but it's not a million miles off. It's across the line, it's into the 27s. Not a terrible start. Not a terrible start. We tried to defend. I think even if there had not been a little bit of teamwork between the two Italian cars, I think we would have had a difficult time for defending. I don't think we could have defended that entire race. I think they were just a bit too fast. But the Coronet put up a good fight, and we were the best of the muscle cars. We were well clear of the of the rest. Yeah, everyone had the same idea of the muscle cars, and they certainly didn't work so well at this first circuit for everyone else. It's a solid start. We shall see where it can go from there. We head to the River Scramble for our next race. The game is being kind. We are on pole. I think unlikely to be able to stay here, let's face it. We are on the wrong tyres. This isn't the worst track. The River Scramble's not the worst track to be on rally tyres instead of off-road race tyres. We know one of the Diablos is on off-road race. I believe the Aston Martin is as well. The Ferrari was on, I believe, rallies like me, so that's going to be in a similar boat. What's going to be better here, I don't know. We're both all-wheel drive, judging by the launch. So, yeah, there's going to be some interesting battles. Off-road racing is going to be faster around this track, 100%. The rally tyres aren't completely useless, though. Could there be a podium? I think it'll be difficult, depending on what some of the other cars are running. There's a lot of understeer through there. Again, should really be expected from this big boat of a car. Front end does not really want to do what I want it to do. The DBX, by the looks of it, forgot about that one. Yeah, that's on, of course, the right tyres, as is the Hemi Cuda by the looks of it. The Aston Martin's got a bit hung out to dry there. We gave space to the Aston on the outside. Unfortunately for it and us, the Hemi Cuda went up the inside, as it has got grip on this surface that I simply do not have, and neither does the Ferrari. Oh, you're a brave Lamborghini there. I mean, I'm not going to try and put you in the wall, but you have got to be aware I am a very big car on the wrong tyres. So that does make it quite difficult for me through all of that one. The Ferrari is still holding on to second. That is something. What can Oh, that's a lot of understeer. I can't quite be flat the whole way through that section. The Diablo is going to have a look. Not quite make that one work through there. It's going to do the crisscross. See, I can fend it off. I say all day long, but I can fend it off through that section. That's not a problem. The problem bit now becomes this section, where I cannot fend it off, because it is just going to outturn me through here. Oh, I thought the Ferrari was going round. It didn't. Miraculously for the Daytona there, it kept it together. The Hemi-Cuda leads the way still as the DBX is caught up behind. So the DBX is caught up behind the Ferrari. The Diablo is caught up behind my Dodge. We are causing chaos in this race. We are being the moving chicanes. The Ferrari, I think, is a little bit better out here. Diablo centered. I think that's fair enough. We get carted a little wide, but it was the smallest of nicks. Come on, please front end, turn it. Now the Diablo's got clear of me, it's going to go have the same problem with this slightly faster version of me in the form of the Daytona. So, yeah, good luck with that one. The DBX has got to go try chase after the Hemi-Cuda. So the Hemi-Cuda was nothing special on the tarmac, but is quite good out here. You know, it's always interesting to see, I say, more specialised cars. Sometimes you do it by accident, to be honest. You build a car going, right, I hope it's going to be good at this, not sure. But, you know, I've built cars where I've gone into it with the mindset, right, I'm going to make a car that's good at, you know, straight line speed. It's ended up being the best handling vehicle in the field. I say almost by complete accident. You know, sometimes your intentions don't quite work. Sometimes, you know, just going for a specialist build does work. It looks like the Diablo actually got a great pass there on the Daytona to get that podium spot away, although they're going to continue to fight. We've had a not great lap so far here. Struggling, yeah, I mean, I'm just struggling with the front end on this. It's maybe not a big surprise that the Coronet does not really enjoy turning into these corners. I mean, it's not completely useless, but it isn't great through all of this. We can't match the Daytona for pace. We're not a million miles away from it. I mean, that's the positive I can take away from it, from this. We are really not a million miles away from the Daytona's pace. We're probably half a second, maybe a smidge more, depending on... Oh, there has been an accident for... Is that the Aston Martin? I think it is. Yeah, the DBX has had an issue through that first sequence of corners. Don't know whether it was a missed checkpoint or missed braking point or what it was, but yeah, the DBX is going to lose out a little bit. I don't think it's quite in danger of losing out on its podium position. I don't think me or the Ferrari have got anywhere near the pace to do this. Interestingly, all-wheel drive rally tyres is currently fending off from rear-wheel drive off-road race tyres, which are on the Aston behind. That is struggling a little bit, which surprises me. I don't know what the Diablo is in terms of driveline. I don't know if that's an all-wheel drive swapped one or whether that is still rear-wheel drive. I would imagine it is converted, but I don't know on that one. We've had a not very good... Oh, God, please turn, please turn. Yeah, we've had a not very good final lap for us, which is a shame. Yeah, we lost a bit too much time. I think that's realistically as good as we're going to get. A 5th place with the Coronet. It is a victory, though, for the muscle car, which is always good. The Challenger would take victory from the Diablo. The DBX would end up on the podium in 3rd. The Ferrari would hold on to 4th. We had a bad end to that race, but we still managed to get a 5th ahead of the Vantage. And then the rest of the muscle cars with the second of the Diablo struggling a little bit more. Yeah, kind of what I expected in that race. Fun battles, but yeah. We head to the festival circuit for our next race. We might fare okay around this track. The top end speed of my car, I'm not sure on. We know it's got some pretty decent acceleration, but up against the Diablo, up against the Daytona, those are the big questions. of the muscle cars, we seem to be best suited. Maybe not a big surprise, we're best suited here. We are on the rally tyres, which are better than the off-road race tyres in terms of grip. And certainly, maybe the first track, though, was a very twisty one. So we know we're better in the twisty stuff. Significantly twisty stuff than the rest of the muscle cars. Here, the off-road race tired ones may fare a little bit better. They will have more power than me. That being said, even though they should have more power than me, we apparently have got more straight line speed than them, as we just breezed up to the El Camino. With a bit longer a straight, we could have got past it. Unfortunately for us, we are kind of stuck in this fight with the El Camino that has brought the Italians to the party. Which is not what I needed. If I could have cleared this El Camino, there could well be a different story here. But unfortunately for me, we are the faster car. Well, we're going to send it. We kind of had to. We had to. The Daytona got a bit caught out. I honestly wasn't expecting as good an opportunity as that to present itself, but when it did, there was no other option but to take it, really. It was a bit sneaky, but it had to be done. Right, we are clear in second. We're going to go chasing down a Hemi Cuda. The trick for me here is going to be I'm going to have to defend him impeccably if there is going to be a hope to fend off those Italian cars. I know they handle better than I do. We have a small bit of traction bonus over them, I think, and top speed-wise is pretty similar. Keep the car parked on the inside as we come off the bridge. The thing is, though, of course, the more I'm fighting, the more I'm having to look back and defend from the Ferrari, from the Lamborghini, the more chances that gives the Challenger, isn't it, this lead, not the Hemi Cuda, to scarper away at the front. And unfortunately for me, we've got a Ferrari having a look. It couldn't quite, might do it on the exit though. It couldn't quite outbrake us. However, it can just turn better than we can. And that is the real problem we've got here. Although through the final corner we go quite well. The leader struggles through the final turn. Not a big surprise that Chromatic would struggle there. What can we do? Oh, that thing is obviously, it's probably got, I would imagine, about 1,000 horsepower. Maybe a smidge. I mean, I've got 800 on rally tyres. If they've got off-road race tyres, they will have more PI to play with, so it could well have up to 1,000 or so horsepower. So it's good, that little bit more top end, but it struggles out to turn number one. Now, we are going to have to defend from a Diablo that's going to look, you're not going to find a pass around the outside there. I'm struggling a little bit in the corners, not that much though. So we can hold it off. Chromatic kind of takes a shallow line. The Ferrari's looking to get underneath, but Ferrari with a big oversteer moment. Now, if they start fighting, it could go my way. The Diablo has had a little bit of a bad hairpin and has just fallen out of range. Still, the leader defends very heavily. The Ferrari's looking for a way past. Oh, the leader may have missed a checkpoint. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. It was shaping up to be a really interesting battle, and yeah, I guess they just cut down too far. I'm really surprised to miss the checkpoint to the inside down there, but there we go. That is what has happened. So it becomes a battle between me and the Ferrari. What can I do? Can I do anything here about that Daytona? I am not sure. We were relying on it being slowed down by the leader slightly. And now we don't have that other car distracting it to cause issues, and I am going to have more problems potentially from a Diablo than I'm going to be able. So I'm going to have to start focusing on defending again rather than focusing on kind of attack. Ferrari struggles a little bit mid-corner at that hairpin, but I'm just not able to do anything about it. We are just that little bit down on grip to the Daytona without something getting in the way and slowing it down. I don't quite have the pace here. It's close though. I mean, these are three very, very different cars, and I've butchered the final corner. I left it too late to turn in. We are going to have to get across to defend, but I can't do it. Diablo made it work. It was a good move from Vante there, although they've made a mess of turn one slightly on that tight line. I just don't have the front end grip to do that. I messed up the final corner. Really, really couldn't afford to do that with a Lamborghini putting pressure on. Yeah, I knew I needed to get across, but I couldn't get across in time, basically, to do anything about that Diablo. I just don't have the front end grip in this. It's a shame. I say it's a shame. A muscle car at the end of the day. But yeah, I just cannot get the front end to cooperate quite well enough. Unless anything goes... I mean, it's been a fantastic battle. We may not quite have had enough here. But A, looks like we're going to get back on the podium, which is good, which I'm happy about. And yeah, B, we had a great fun race. There was some great battling for position, it's just not quite gone our way. Diablo's out very wide, but doesn't make a mess of it. Slightly scruffy end. I think probably pushing a bit too hard to try and battle with that Ferrari that ultimately I didn't quite have the pace to run with. But I'm still pleased with the performance on that one. Sorry, it was a Challenger, not Cuda. The Challenger, it was very unlucky. I think that could have been a very different race had the Challenger not missed a checkpoint. But because that would have outrun all of us down a straight, so it would have been very tough to pass. That was great fun. That was great fun. We get a muscle car on the podium. The El Camino gets up to 4th, actually. That's a good showing for the El Camino there. Oh, manic race. We are off to the Baja circuit for our next race. I mean, this will be much along the lines of the River Scramble. In some ways, well, I say something, it would be worse for us on rally tyres. We're really not going to stand much of a chance. That's all I can do. I will push the Coronet as hard as I can. I will extract absolutely everything from this car, but it's not going... We're not going to be winning this race. I was hoping for perhaps a little better performance on tarmac, although to be fair, I can't really complain too much about how it's been. We've been right at the front. We've just been lacking that little tiny smidge of performance. Here, I mean, it'd be nice to think we could be the best of the rally-tired cars. I don't know whether that is going to be the case. I mean, the Diablo is obviously the best overall in that it's very quick on the tarmac and also quite quick on the dirt. But, yeah, the Challenger is mighty fast on the dirt, from what we have seen so far. Will the Coronet magically be good here? I don't know. Maybe we can fend off that Ferrari. That's my main goal. The other cars, I kind of can't worry about. Oh, that's too high. God damn it. So I like the high line up there. I really don't mind running high line up there, but I don't want to go that high. The cars that I wasn't worried about were the DBX and the Diablo. I don't know if I bumped that Ferrari. I don't think I did. I don't know. I'm not sure, though. If I did bump the Ferrari wide, I do apologise on that one. I was trying to get underneath. I'm not 100% sure if immensely long dodge may have given it a slight shuffle. It's possible. It is possible. So the top 3 are gone. That is to be expected. Now it's the battle for 4th place. Oh, God, my car is not good over that section. Christ did not like the bumps. We've got the Ferrari, we've got the Aston Martin, and there was the Hemi Cuda. Don't know what tyres the Hemi Cuda are on. First time we have really been seeing that one up close. From long range, the Hemi Cuda and Challenger look quite similar. So, did they share a platform? Was it those that shared a platform? I can never remember. I'm going to say possibly. I know Plymouth and Dodge were you know, very close. I think they shared a platform. But did Dodge own Plymouth? I can't remember. But there we go. Yeah. Don't know what tyres the Cuda is on. We know the Aston is on the better tyres, but rear-wheel drive, so is perhaps struggling to use them as well. We can just all-wheel drive save it, essentially. The top 3 are having a good scrap. The Aston Martin under pressure there over 2nd place. We actually are pulling away from the cars behind. That surprises me. In fact, for a rally-tired vehicle, this thing is not sluggish around here, which is good. I don't quite know why. I can't think what it is about this vehicle that is making it strong around this circuit for what it is. At the end of the day, it's not going to be winning this particular event, but for what it is, 100% sure why it's... So I'm not going to complain. I mean, this is what we get. You do sometimes just get a car that missed it. I've had it in multiple Forza games. When I say a car that's just working, this is in relative terms. This is in a weird way. This is one of the better runs from the Coronet. I know I'm sat 4 miles away from the cars ahead, but for a car that's very out of its comfort zone, I say very, okay, not completely, but in context of the race, yeah, this is actually pretty good. It's either that, or this is doing better than I expect, or again, we're talking relative terms here, or the Ferrari is struggling for some reason at this track. Maybe the Ferrari doesn't like the bumps. The river circuit, the river circuit does have some bumps to be contending with. And it feels like my car's terrible on them. It doesn't... The big landing of the jumps, that's no problem. Here, not a problem. But actually getting chucked around by the bumps is a bit of a problem. I'm going to guess maybe just the sheer size of this car kind of counting against it. Front end did not want to turn in there, but that's just on the long tyres. Front end still not really wanting to turn in. Challenger continuing to lead the way from an Aston DBX. That Diablo, we've lost sight of the battle. The Diablo still not found a way past yet. I'm going to imagine they're all pretty close up there. Come on, turn in. Nope. No. God damn it. Probably shouldn't be farting around like that on the final lap. If I manage to throw this away because I'm being an idiot. I mean, I was just trying to use the banking there to get the car to turn in a little bit. To carry more speed. As I said, I don't mind running that high line. You kind of use the banking to get the car to turn in. Ferrari's actually slipped down to 6th place now. It's the Aston Martin that is behind us. The Aston Martin's on the better tyres for this, but can't put the power down and probably won't have the outright power. We've got 800 horsepower in this thing. The Aston will not have that much. See how much we blast away. Yeah, bad final lap. Just a second on that final lap from a couple of shonky corners. But I'm impressed. I'm actually very impressed with the Coronet's abilities around there. 4th place and a comfortable 4th as well. Best of the rest, essentially. Yeah, top 3 in a class of their own. But yeah, the Super B ran very well indeed. It has been pretty consistent with my finishing positions. Well, we head on to the next one. We head into our final race at the Estadio circuit. Mid-pack for a bit. I think it's the worst spot we've had on the grid, so I can't complain this evening. I think we're going to probably be in contention for a podium with what we have seen so far. The Challenger's at the back. If that had started at the front, that could have been a little bit of a problem. Could have been a pain to overtake. Although I think it's just going to lack grip at this circuit. If you haven't seen one of these videos for a while, or maybe this is the first time you're watching a Horizon video of mine, I don't know. The Estadio track is a pretty good overall circuit. It tests some straight line speed, medium speed corners, some high speed corners, some low speed stuff, acceleration. So it's just a good overall circuit for putting cars through their paces, pretty much. As far as I'm concerned, one of the better balanced circuits for all aspects of racing. My vehicle is a pretty decent overall car. It has some straight line speed, 800 horsepower will do that. It's got half decent handling, some big rally tyres will do that. I don't know where it might have advantages over the likes of the Daytona. The only place we've really been faster than it was that full dirt track. That was it. So I suspect with the Daytona out in front, we will struggle. As much as I do adore this track to race around, I do not expect us to have the pace to catch it here, but you never know. We will do what we can. What could help me is that the Diablo has not had a great start, where it's in 6th at the moment. So traffic, the Diablo stuck in traffic helps me in my quest for at least, you know, maybe getting a 2nd place. If the Diablo wants to stay stuck in traffic for a couple of laps, that can help me out. We are running in glorious clean air. Yeah, that's a huge gaggle of angry cars back there. The Vantage is trying to get involved, and this track may work a bit better for the Vantage. Probably not the worst for I say not the worst for two-wheel drive. Oh, turned in too soon. There's actually a little bit more grip. So what I'm trying to do and I've not got it right there. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to turn in a little bit early, have the car understeer its way through the checkpoint, essentially. But if you get it wrong, if you turn in and the car has actually got the grip to do it, suddenly you find yourself just missing the checkpoint like an idiot, which is basically what I was doing there. So I can get away with. I think we should be flat out for that. Oh, we just vanished away. We've vanished away from the pack. Unfortunately, though, the Ferrari is just that little bit quicker than I am, which means it looks like we are probably going to be on for a hot lap session around here. I mean, the Ferrari is by no means easy to drive. It's looked more unsettled than my car through some of these corners. The Ferrari gets more oversteer than we get understeer. Ferrari gets oversteer. Now, as I said, again, multiple times before, I actually prefer my car to be like that. I don't want my car... I hate dealing with oversteer. I'm just not as good at dealing with it. I want the back end of my car to be planted. We are playing a dangerous, dangerous game through there. That was millimetres away from missing checkpoints. I'm giving it everything I can at the moment to try. Just desperately, desperately try, but it's not gonna... I'm not catching the Ferrari. I feel like this is at the point maybe where we just accept defeat. We're not catching the Ferrari, and maybe more importantly focus on not letting the Diablo catch up. So for all of our scary moment through that chicane, we really didn't gain that much in terms of lap time. I don't quite know where we got it wrong. Oh, we did run a little bit wide out of here. This is the slight downside with the cumbersome coronet, if you will. Change of direction is not quite there. If I could get a little bit... What I'd want is a little bit more turn-in without losing the rear-end stability. That's what I would want from this car. Just a little bit more front-end grip, but keep the back stuck to the circuit. The Diablo is fast. I'm not surprised by that one particularly. We've seen how quick that Lamborghini has been. This final lap, we may have to defend by the end of it. We may have just enough of a lead. Oh, not if we do that, though. Yeah, we're probably going to be defending around here. That's not ideal. I mean, the Diablo... What we wanted to have happen did. The Diablo got stuck in traffic. We made the most of running around on our own and then pissed it away into the first corner. We're definitely going to be defending now. I just completely missed my braking point. I would love to be able to say that that was just to make this race interesting. That was just a silly error by me. The question for the Lamborghini is, where is it going to find a way past? You can't... Well, I mean, you can go side by side through the chicane, but it's damn difficult to do so, especially with, let's face it, two incredibly wide cars. We are neatly through there. The Diablo did not carry the speed. I'm going to guess it either checked up because it didn't know quite how fast I was going to go through there or something. Regardless, we got through the chicane very nicely indeed. We will round the final corner. We have weathered the storm that the Diablo could throw at us. I think it slid wide and hit the railing as well. Yeah, silly error from me at the start of that lap. Don't know what on earth I was thinking. But we held on. We made that gap early. We made the most of the free air. We weren't matching the Ferrari. We weren't matching the Diablo in terms of pace there. Realistically, even if we'd started ahead of the Ferrari, I think it would have caught and passed us. Not easily. We could have made it awkward. It's not an easy track to overtake on at times. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy enough with that. we were flying the flag for the muscle cars on the tarmac stuff. The Challenger was flying it on the off-road stuff. It was good fun. Overall, I'm certainly not displeased with my Coronet. Yeah, not the very fastest A-class car I've ever built, with a bit more front-end grip. As I said, a bit more front-end grip and keep the back-end stability that I like so much, and you'd have a monstrous car. But there we go. That is going to be it for this video. If you'd like to sign up to take part in the next one of these, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versus Community sign-up section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.